What's up? I'm back. My name is Mark Pattison. My podcast is back. It takes a bit. I had to redo the studio. Check it out. It's actually within my office. So, pretty lucky to have an amazing studio now. So, just want to talk to you a little bit about how to not pay taxes. And everything that I'm going to teach you is legal. It's pretty crazy, but as we know, homeownership, investing, buying investment properties, all of it is legal when you do this tax tip. So I'm going to share a little bit. We all know what 1031 exchange is. If not, I'm going to break it down for you for sure. But do you know what a Section 121 is? I'm sure you do. It's just a little bit different. It's for your primary residence. So we all know that when you own a primary residence, you can have a gain as an individual of up to $250,000. What this means, the government's basically saying when you sell your property, if there's some if you work into it and you make sure that you stayed in it, you lived in it, you use it as your primary residence, there's some things that you have to do it in 2 of the last 5 years. We'll break down all of that for you, but what I want to show to you is that $250,000 gain is if you made that 250, but the government doesn't look at that as income. It's pretty sweet. Now, if you're married, you can go and get $500,000 gain. And from recent talks, there is some publications coming out saying that they're trying to raise the individual gain up to 500 and that the couples, these married spouses, up to $1 million. So pretty significant gains for you, tax-free. Now, so that's what's a 121 exchange. A 1031 exchange is for just investment properties. You have to have it as an investment property. How do they know that it's an investment property and not your primary residence? Well, every single year when you file your taxes, you work with your accountant, you're going to show income on a Schedule K from a investment property. That's going to basically let the government know, hey, look, Mark has an investment property. Well, when I sell that investment property, I can do something called a 1031 exchange. What I'm going to do, I need to buy something equal or greater in value. If I bought something and it is less than, that is totally fine. So for example, if I have an apartment complex, I sell it for $1 million. I need to buy something for $1 million or more. If I buy something for $900,000, I can do that, but I'm going to owe tax on that $100,000. The reason being is that it's called a boot. You need to reinvest. The government wants you to invest more money than you had already previously invested. So 1031, it's different. It doesn't have that $250,000 or $500,000 exemption, just like the 121 does. And also remember, 1031 only for investment property. Section 121 is only for your primary. Now I'm going to give you a situation a little bit deeper. Now let's say that I have a primary residence. I bought this property. Let's just throw it out there and say I bought it for $1.8 million. The property value has taken off. As we know, over the last couple of years, we have had a huge increase in prices. So a lot of homeowners have had more than their $250,000 gain as an individual. And even some of the married couples have had more than $500,000 gain. So how do they get out of paying that extra gain? Well, I'm going to teach you a couple tricks. One thing is you have your primary residence. That primary residence does not always have to be your primary residence. For example, that $1.8 million property that you bought, let's turn that property now into a rental property. So yes, you have to go out and either rent or find something else where to live because your primary residence is now a rental. So you're going to turn that into a rental property. So you lived in it, say 4 years, you gained a lot of equity. You also gained a lot of value because it went up so much. Let's say it's now worth $3 million. You have $1.2 million in gain. The government only allows you as a married individual, or I'm sorry, as a married person, is that you can go and gain up to $500,000. So what are you going to do with that extra $700,000? So what I suggest is that you turn your property into a rental property. Now you've lived in it for 2 of the last 5 years. So that covers your Section 121. You have the rental property exemption through 1031. But 1031, you do have to hold the property for quite some time. Now, this is where I'm not going to be an expert. You're going to need to reach out to your 1031 accommodator. I've got a fantastic one. His name's Brandon Burns. So if you have anything in San Diego, cool thing is it's a nationwide thing. So if you want to reach out, Brandon's phenomenal, and he's going to get into detail on how to exactly do this. But you can take your primary, turn it into an investment. I want to say 2 years. You want to be on the safer side. There's no rule, I believe. And then what you can do is a combo. It's kind of like a switchback. You're going to do 121 exemption for $500,000 plus all that excess you can do in the 1031 exchange. That way you can save the money, you can reinvest, but then you could also pull money out because you have your 121. It's an amazing way to move from property to property. Now, I've got a friend, a gal down in Texas. Her name's Tammy Pack. You guys might know her. She's fantastic as well. She actually tries to move every 2 years to eliminate her gains. Because if you get more than that 500 grand with her husband and herself, they have to figure out what are they going to do. Well, just like I said, they may not want to do that 121 to 1031 and do a combo. They just go and move their primary every 2 years. And it's not a compound. It's not like you can't go and say, oh, you already got your $500,000. You don't get to ever use that again. You get to use it again and again. So plan out your map of how you're going to do your real estate because it'll drastically save you millions of dollars in taxes. This is how the rich get richer. This is how you go and you take the money that you've earned and you keep it. It's not illegal. It's 100% okay to do. And it's actually encouraged. They want you to reinvest. So it's totally fine to do. I love the idea. One thing you need to make sure, just make sure you follow the guidelines. Go to irs.gov. Check out the website. There's a lot of publications on there that really deep dive. There's some stories, shares about people getting divorced, active duty if you get relocated. There's some exemptions and things that you can extend so you can maybe have 10 years instead of just living it 2 of the last 5 years for your primary. There's a lot of cool stuff out there and every person's situation is different. One thing about the code is it doesn't say things are set in stone. Every person, every accommodator is going to take it up to different standards. Make sure you work with someone that you feel comfortable with, just like an accountant. That'll definitely help you out. One thing I do want to say when you're doing your 1031 exchange, it is a like-kind exchange. What this means is that you can take real estate to buy real estate. A lot of people in the industry have this idea that they think it means condo to condo, or piece of land to piece of land, or commercial property to commercial property. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is real estate to real estate. So let's say that you have a property, commercial property, $4 million that you sell, and you want to buy a single family residence. You want to move into that single family residence. You cannot. It has to be an investment property. So remember, you got to go commercial to that single family, but that single family has to be a rental. So remember, it just has to be investment to investment. It doesn't matter which way you cross it, land to condo, condo to land to land, real estate for real estate is the rule. The other rule is you have some timelines to hit. The government doesn't say, hey, you can just go and sell your property, your investment, and let's just do whatever, timelines, who cares? When you locate a property, when you close on a new one. No, the government says we have some set dates. So one thing is you have 45 days to locate. There's a couple different rules for locating. Biggest thing is you just have to make sure once your place is under contract and closed on your sale from that close date, that money does not hit your account. It needs to go into an accommodator. An accommodator is going to tell you, hey, your 45 days starts. You go, make sure that you're going to go and get 45 days to locate. You can locate more than one, and I highly suggest doing so because say you locate a property, you get to the 11th hour, your 45 days may be close to coming up, meaning you don't have any more time left to locate something. And now you're stuck with that property and it might have foundation issues. It might have a horrible roof that's more expensive than that what you wanted to repair. There's a bunch of reasons why you need to locate multiples just so that you're safe. Now that you located in 45 days, you have 180 days to close. Mind you, if you're doing from residential to commercial and you're not familiar with commercial deals take a lot longer. So have that prepped. Always partner with the professional, whether it's the accommodator, the escrow company, your real estate agent that knows commercial, residential, and also someone who truly understands 1031 exchanges. It's going to save you a ton of money. So if you ever have any questions, I'm happy to help out. I know there's a lot of real estate agents on here, a lot of agents, a lot of clients. I'm happy to help out on any aspect at all. You always want to buy real estate. And what I was always say to my friends, buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate. Truly hold on to that property for as long as you can. And if you have to sell it, always reinvest, whether it's through using your exemption of 121 or whether it's through 1031. Remember, with the exemption of 121, you get that 500 grand if you're married. You don't have to buy real estate. You can go to Nordstrom. You can go buy a Ferrari. I don't know about with 500 grand anymore, but you can go and do whatever you want with that money. With 121, you do need to reinvest all of that money, minus some fees. We're not going to get too technical, but you do have to reinvest that money. So that's how you save millions of dollars on taxes legally, because I would not be the person you'd want to have in jail. I don't think I'd do too well. And trust me, it's not worth it to cut corners. Pay your taxes, do it the right way. But if you do this, this is going to save you a ton of money. So hope you learned something. Thank you for listening to the Mark Pattison Show. And all the details will be below. And visit irs.gov for the actual rules because I'm not an expert. I don't know all this stuff. All right. Chat soon, guys.